Have you noticed that your legs don't quite feel the way they used to? Maybe getting up from a chair takes a little more effort. Maybe the stairs you once climbed without thinking now leave your legs feeling tired. Or maybe you can still walk just fine, but you notice that you don't feel quite as steady or strong as you did a few years ago. It's easy to tell yourself, I'm over 60. This is just aging. And yes, aging can make it harder to maintain muscle and physical performance. But there's another part of the story that often gets overlooked. Your muscles need more than movement. They also need the raw materials that help maintain them. And that brings us to something surprisingly simple: what you eat. Today, we're going to look at 5 everyday foods that can help support the muscle and nutrition your legs need to stay strong. But there's an important catch. These aren't magic foods. And this isn't about finding one miracle ingredient. The real goal is to understand what your muscles need, which foods can help provide it, and how to make those choices practical enough to use in everyday life. Because stronger legs aren't really about having impressive muscles. They're about being able to stand up, walk farther, climb stairs, carry your groceries, and stay independent. And one of the foods on this list is so ordinary that you may already have it in your kitchen. Let's start there. Before we get to the foods, let's clear up one important idea. When people think about stronger legs, they usually think about exercise. And exercise absolutely matters. The National Institute on Aging explains that muscle strengthening activity can help older adults maintain strength, improve physical function, make everyday tasks easier, and support independence. Activities that train the legs can help with things like standing from a chair, climbing stairs, and carrying groceries. But there's a second side to the equation. Think of your muscles like a house you're constantly maintaining. Movement tells your body, keep this house useful. Food provides many of the materials your body needs to maintain that structure. One of the most important materials is protein. Protein is involved in building and repairing tissues, and the National Institute on Aging recommends that older adults include a variety of nutrient-dense protein foods such as seafood, eggs, beans, nuts, seeds, soy foods, and lean meats and poultry. Research looking at older adults has also found an association between higher protein intake and better measures of physical performance, including lower limb function and walking speed. But that evidence is not a guarantee that simply eating more protein will stop physical decline. Nutrition works within the bigger picture of activity, overall diet, health status, and age. That's why the question isn't, what's the one food that will make my legs strong? A better question is, which foods can help me consistently give my muscles what they need? Now let's count down the 5. Let's begin with one of the simplest choices on this list: eggs. Eggs are useful because they give you a convenient source of high-quality protein, and they're extremely easy to work into a normal meal. That matters more than it sounds. As we get older, appetite can change. Meals can become smaller. Cooking can feel like more work. And sometimes people simply don't eat enough protein-rich food because it isn't convenient. An egg is easy. You can have it at breakfast. You can add it to lunch. You can pair it with vegetables, whole grains, or another protein-rich food. And USDA My Plate specifically includes eggs in the protein foods group, along with seafood, poultry, beans, peas, lentils, nuts, seeds, and soy foods. So don't think of eggs as some kind of muscle-building medicine. Think of them as a simple tool for making protein a regular part of your meals. And there's another useful lesson here. Consistency beats complexity. You don't need an elaborate supplement routine to start paying more attention to your muscle nutrition. Sometimes a better breakfast is the easier place to begin. But the next food brings another advantage to the table, and it can be especially useful when you want something quick and convenient. Number 4 is plain Greek yogurt. This is one of those foods that can look almost too simple to matter. But simplicity is actually part of its strength. Greek yogurt can provide a substantial amount of protein in a food that's easy to eat, easy to store, and easy to combine with other nutrient-dense foods. That makes it useful for people who don't always want to cook another full meal. You can have it with berries. You can add nuts or seeds. You can use it as a simple snack. Or you can make it part of breakfast. And because yogurt is a dairy food, some varieties also provide calcium, which is another nutrient relevant to healthy aging. There's something important I want you to notice here. The goal isn't to choose the food with the most impressive label. The goal is to build meals you can realistically repeat. A food that is nutritious but never gets eaten isn't very useful. A food that you enjoy and can easily include several times a week is much more practical. And that's a theme you'll see throughout this entire list. Strong leg nutrition isn't about perfection. It's about building a pattern. But now we're getting into a food that provides something beyond protein. And this next one is a favorite for an entirely different reason. Number 3 is salmon. And this is where the story gets more interesting. Salmon is a source of protein, but it also provides omega-3 fatty acids. The American Heart Association recommends regularly including fish and seafood as part of a heart-healthy eating pattern, and specifically recommends about 2 servings of fish per week, with fatty fish such as salmon being a source of omega-3 fats. Why does that matter for a video about your legs? Because your goal isn't just to think about muscle in isolation. Your legs depend on your entire body. Your cardiovascular system matters. Your overall nutrition matters. Your ability to stay active matters. And a food that contributes quality protein while also fitting into a heart-healthy dietary pattern is a useful addition. You also don't need to make this complicated. A serving of salmon can become the center of a simple dinner. Add vegetables. Add a whole grain or another suitable side. Keep the meal simple enough that you can actually repeat it. And don't get stuck thinking that only one specific variety counts. The American Heart Association lists several fish that are rich in omega-3s, including salmon, sardines, trout, herring, and others. So if salmon isn't your favorite, another fish may work perfectly well. And now we're going to switch gears. Because our next food isn't a fish, an egg, or a dairy product. It comes from plants. Before we move on, think about yesterday. How many times did you eat something that was actually a meaningful source of protein? Once, twice, more. There's no need to judge yourself. The point is simply to notice the pattern. Because sometimes improving muscle nutrition isn't about adding one exotic superfood. It's about recognizing what your meals are missing. And the next 2 foods can help make that easier. Number 2 is beans and lentils. This is a category I don't want you to underestimate. Beans and lentils can provide plant-based protein along with fiber and other nutrients. USDA My Plate includes beans, peas, and lentils in the protein foods group, alongside seafood, eggs, poultry, nuts, seeds, and soy products. And there's another reason they are interesting. They can be incredibly practical. You can put beans into soup, add lentils to a stew, mix chickpeas into a salad, use black beans in a bowl with vegetables and whole grains. In other words, they don't need to be the entire meal. They can become one part of the meal. And that flexibility matters. For some older adults, eating well can be difficult simply because they don't want to cook complicated dishes every day. Beans and lentils can reduce that barrier. Another advantage is that plant proteins can contribute fiber and other nutrients in addition to protein, which is one reason the National Institute on Aging encourages older adults to choose a variety of protein foods rather than relying on only one source. And this brings us to a bigger lesson. If your goal is healthy aging, don't think of your meals as a competition between protein foods and vegetables. Combine them. Protein supports the muscle building and repair side of the equation. Plants bring fiber and a wide range of vitamins, minerals, and other compounds. A balanced meal can give you more than a single food ever could. And now we come to number 1. This one is important because it may not be the food with the flashiest health reputation, but it checks one of the most useful boxes of all. It's practical. Number 1 is lean poultry, such as chicken or turkey. Why put this at number 1? Not because chicken is a miracle food. It's because it combines something very important, protein, with something equally important, versatility. USDA MyPlate includes chicken and turkey within the protein foods group. You can use lean poultry in an enormous number of everyday meals. Chicken with vegetables, turkey in a sandwich, shredded chicken in soup, chicken with beans, turkey with a grain and a side of vegetables. That means it can help make protein part of meals you already know how to prepare. And there's a subtle point here that I want you to remember. When people hear stronger legs, they often start looking for the most powerful food. But the most useful food may simply be the one that helps you create a better eating pattern. Because muscle doesn't care whether a food is trendy. Your body needs adequate nutrition consistently. And for older adults, variety matters too. The National Institute on Aging recommends choosing a variety of nutrient-dense protein foods rather than relying on one source alone. So chicken doesn't replace eggs. It doesn't replace fish. It doesn't replace beans or yogurt. It becomes another tool. And that is really the message behind this entire list. Let's step back for a moment. You've now heard 5 foods that can help you build more nutrient-dense meals: eggs, Greek yogurt, salmon, beans and lentils, lean poultry. But I don't want you to leave this video thinking that food alone can make your legs strong. That's not how the body works. The National Institute on Aging and the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services recommend a combination of aerobic activity, muscle strengthening activity, and balance work for older adults. Current federal guidance continues to recommend muscle strengthening activity at least 2 days per week, along with aerobic activity and balance activities. So think about the big picture like this: food provides building materials. Movement gives your muscles a reason to keep working. And consistency helps turn those choices into a routine. That's why I don't want you obsessing over the idea of a perfect food. A better approach is to ask, did I include a quality protein source in this meal? Did I choose some nutrient-dense whole foods? Am I moving my muscles regularly? Those questions are much more useful than asking which single food is the strongest. And one more thing. More protein isn't automatically better for everyone. Research in older adults has found that higher habitual protein intake can be associated with better physical performance, but that does not mean that simply increasing protein will guarantee stronger legs or prevent age-related decline. That distinction matters. Especially after 60, your overall health, medications, appetite, kidney function, activity level, and dietary needs can all influence what makes sense for you. So what can you actually do with this information? Start small. At your next main meal, ask yourself, where is the protein? Maybe it's eggs. Maybe it's Greek yogurt. Maybe it's salmon. Maybe it's beans. Maybe it's chicken or turkey. Then add some variety around it. Vegetables, fruit, whole grains, or other nutrient-dense foods that fit your needs. And most importantly, don't try to rebuild your entire diet overnight. Choose one meal. Improve that meal. Repeat it. Then improve another. That's how healthy habits become normal. And as your nutrition improves, keep moving your body in ways that are appropriate for your ability and health. A walk. Getting up and sitting down from a chair. Resistance exercises recommended for you. Balance work. Simple daily movement all counts toward a more active lifestyle. And you don't need to be perfect to make a difference. Because at the end of the day, this isn't really about food. It's about what you want your legs to help you keep doing. Getting up from the chair without hesitation. Walking through the grocery store. Climbing the stairs. Going outside. Taking a walk with someone you love. Carrying your own bags. Moving around your own home with confidence. And staying as independent as you can. That's the real goal. We're not trying to turn back the clock. We're trying to give your body the support it needs to make the most of the years ahead. So remember, stronger muscles can support stronger legs. Stronger legs can support better mobility. And better mobility can help protect something that becomes more valuable with every passing year, your independence. So let me know in the comments, which of these foods is already part of your routine and which one could you start adding more often? And if you found this useful, subscribe to Human Restore for more practical, evidence-informed health information designed for adults over 60.